Hi, welcome to Gene Rants. I'm Gene, and today I'm just going to share a short video that builds on yesterday's subject. Now, yesterday's subject was, well, just a quick list of all the Trump policies about which the experts, I have to put that in quotes now because how expert are these experts when they predicted all these dire consequences from Trump's policies, and everything that they predicted would happen has not happened. So this builds on that because one of the greatest criticisms he was getting was about raising tariffs on our trading partners, using that as leverage to get better deals with our trading partners, to open markets, to reduce, both tariffs and non-tariff barriers. Let's go right to this now. This is 42 seconds, just 42 seconds of mainstream media, which you can read as liberal media, talking heads. I won't say they're all liberal, okay? I want to be fair. But in any case, mainstream media, Bloomberg, CNN, MSNBC, eating crow, admitting that Trump won. This was a win for Trump and a win for, well, by extension, that would be a win for America. They're not saying that, so I don't want to put words in their mouth, but their mouths, but they definitely are saying a triumph for Donald Trump. So without further ado,
the early reviews are in on the new trade deal announced with the European Union. The Financial Times says the deal marks a victory for Trump.
Is this a fantastic deal then struck by Donald Trump?
Absolutely a victory on behalf of the Trump administration.
Isabel, the bottom line is this is the biggest trade deal in President Trump's effort to effectively reshape the global trading order.
On this deal, the European Union, this is a big win for the U.S.
The bigger picture is that Trump is still very much pursuing his longer-term goal of achieving what he perceives to be fairness for America.
It's a triumph of a lot of things. Certainly, the president ought to take a victory lap. I think it ends up being good for the European Union. It's a blow against the conventional wisdom.
The only thing I'll add to what you just saw, I'm not going to put up a video, right? I'm kind of rushed for time today, so this is going to be very short. But if you do a little Googling or searching, you'll find Bill Maher admitting that he was wrong about tariffs. He was predicting all these things and perhaps other issues. I don't have the video in front of me. I don't quite remember, but that he predicted all these dire consequences and admitting that he was right, it's interesting, just a little aside here, that you see conservatives so much quoting and showing video clips of Bill Maher because, well, I guess he's fair. And, well, I don't want to get off on that. We'll talk about Bill Maher another day, perhaps. But for now, that's it for today. You just saw talking heads, people who were, well, to be fair again, I don't have past clips of what they said about these particular people, what predictions they made, but still, CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg is pretty liberal too, but was, CNN, MSNBC. It must have really, they don't look to be in too much pain, but, for them to admit that Trump was right. Let's see more of that. That would be nice. Both of Trump being right, of course, we don't. Even if you're a liberal, right, you should want Trump to succeed, which is, well, I got to throw this aside because I got to take that back because it was just reported this morning, the day before you're seeing this, that the economy in the last quarter grew at 3%. Now, first of all, that's very good, number one. Number two, you keep that 3% up and you couple that with the big, beautiful bill and by deficit by $37 trillion in debt, which is already being eaten away by, well, another prediction where the experts were wrong. We're gaining money from the tariffs. Now, in fairness, I think they're being paid by Americans, either individually or American companies. I've discussed that before. You can look for past videos. Don't want to get off on that track again today. But either way, it's kind of a painless way. Well, it's just like my state. My state has no income tax, right? and it just has a sales tax. And I can tell you that a sales tax, it would be great if we could do, as Trump has suggested, go back to what was in the past, what the policy was in the past, where the government was funded entirely before the 16th Amendment and the income tax, funded entirely by tariffs. That's just as when I lived in New York, we had there's a sales tax, believe it or not, there's a state sales tax, New York City sales tax if you live in New York City, and a state income tax. And I believe there's a New York city income tax too, I think of like 1%. But the point I'm getting at is, the high income taxes really bother me. But the sales tax, I mean, I live in Tennessee, you don't really feel it. It's a more painless way to tax. But either way, however you feel about it, we made, I think, 47 billion came in last month, something like that. Scott Besson, the Treasury Secretary, is on videotape saying that the prediction, this is the CBO, they're no friends of Republicans, and they use the static analysis that causes them always to be wrong. They've always been wrong in their predictions of a cost of tax cuts and the revenues from a tax increase. They've always been wrong. They've always overestimated what would be earned from, what the revenues would be from a tax increase, and vastly underestimated the result of a tax cut. They predict a loss, and they predict so far, we've been having record tax receipts, federal tax receipts, income tax receipts, several years after the 2017 tax cuts, Trump tax cuts that were enacted and just now renewed in the big, beautiful bill. And so that's why I'm not surprised why we had 3% growth. Now you get rid of those tax cuts, and then there goes your 3% growth. But we've got the 3% growth, and we're not having the inflation. It's going to be interesting to see what happens today. The Fed will be announcing around 2:00 today, Eastern Standard Time, what they're going to do about interest rates. Predictions are that they're not going to lower them. They're going to keep them the same. Definitely not going to raise them. They should lower them. Hopefully they'll do it next month, but we're stuck right now with politicized Fed. But anyway, the point is that the expert's wrong again, and it's nice in this one instance that I showed you in this video that they have to admit it. There's no way to hide it. And that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, I forgot. The CBO, we were talking about the CBO, so we had 3% economic growth. The CBO was predicting 1.7% economic growth from the big, beautiful bill. Okay, the big, beautiful bill basically is keeping just the tax cuts the ones that were tax rate cuts actually that were enacted in 2017, and they were wrong too. So there you go. That's it for today, for sure. I've gone on long enough, I think. I think you'll agree with me on that. But agree with me or not, your comments always welcome in the comment section below the video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.